Hello guys, Kachuba here, back with another video. Okay guys, so today I just want to talk about South Africa's win of the ICC 2025 Champions Trophy and how amazing that is, how proud I am of that, and how cool that is, just as a South African and the South African team winning something like this. So it just reminded me of the feeling that one felt when the Springboks won in 2007. I remember that very well. Second year in university, and the 2019 and the 2023 World Cup rugby win. So the thing that I think about, right, firstly, that stands out for me is how these sports teams, right, the proteas and the Springboks, how they are united. So when I say united, different colors, that's the only thing, right? Remember, I'm talking about this in relation to South Africa's history, right? So these people are united. It's almost as if it's the people, the fans who aren't that united yet. There are plenty who are, don't get me wrong. I'm one of them, right? I don't have any issue with white people at all as a black South African. Trust me, right? But a lot of fans, a lot of South Africans, black, white, colored, Indian, right? Or whatever race you are as a South African, we're still allowing this race thing to stand between fully enjoying this thing of being a South African and yeah, like that. And for me, it's so sad, man. It's so sad for people like that. Because if you're white, right, you're battling your programming from the past, what your father, grandfather, and so on taught you what a black person is, right? If you're black, you're battling what your father, mother, grandfather taught you about what a white person is, with regards to white people having caused apartheid and all of this. So I genuinely think one of the biggest problems we have in South Africa as South Africans is we don't understand each other. We don't understand each other yet. Like, we really don't. A white person really doesn't understand a black South African. A white South African doesn't understand the perspective of a black South African. When I say black South African, I just mean all non-white South Africans. I'm just gonna group all of them together, right? That's what I mean. To me, black South African, or maybe I should use the word non-white South African, right? And non-white South Africans fully don't understand the perspective of white people, of white South Africans. And it's people like myself, and I can't do it alone, obviously, other people who must speak up, and we need to work harder to bridge that divide, right? I've interacted a lot with white people, all groups, all race groups in South Africa because of my schooling and, right? That's why I somewhat have an understanding of what white South Africans think like, right? But a lot of black South Africans have not had that opportunity. And that's why they really don't get the perspective of a white person. Like, they really don't get it when a white person says they are South African, or they are as South African as anyone else from South Africa. And to them it's like, but you're white and this is Africa, so how can you say you are fully South African like me who's black? Because black people are from Africa, right? You know? But white people will tell you, but I've been here for 400 years. I don't have family in Europe. I know nothing about Europe. I know as much about Europe the way you know about Europe, just as a visitor, just on the internet, stuff like that. And a lot of black people are like, but that doesn't make sense. You're still white. See, so there's a divide there. Then you come to the black side or the non-white side, or so rather the white side. And then white people are like, yeah, but these people are lazy. Non-white people are just lazy, especially black Africans, lazy, right? So why even entertain them? They just want everything for free. We built the country, and right? And then it's like black Africans are like, but why would you just assume the laziness thing? Who were you? If ever we as Black Africans are lazy, who was the manual labor that you used to build this amazing South Africa? Because South Africa is the best country in Africa, we know that. But who was the manual labor? It was the Black African. So if the Black South African, if ever they are lazy, so why is South Africa this amazing country as it is? I'm not talking about the politics now when I say amazing. I'm talking about the infrastructure of the country and those things, right? Because it takes hard work to lay a road, to lay a rail track, to build a building, to build a school. So where's the laziness? You see, so there's a lot of disconnect between us, guys, and I really think we need to talk more, right? Talk more to bridge the divide, but most importantly, I think we need to also be empathetic. Just be kinder to each other. We need to be kinder to each other as South Africans, and that's why religion is such a big thing, right? Which the cool thing is at least that somewhat unites us. Like if, for example, if you have a Black Christian and a white Christian, at least there's something that unites them besides the fact that they're both South African, because the religion has certain values, right? And at least if you come to the conversation with, okay, listen, we're gonna have this conversation with the values of the religion as the foundation. At least there's something that both parties understand that they can start from, if that makes sense. But I'm really motivated for the next 10 to 15 years with the future of South Africa, because I really think we have an opportunity to do something great here. We're on the cusp, right? We just need to go over this little hurdle, right? And the little hurdle, by the way, is getting rid of the ANC. That's a start, right? And getting rid of demagogue politics in South Africa, or at least minimizing it, if that makes sense. But it's just a small hurdle that's left for us to get over, and we will get over it. So it's that for me, guys. Let me get back to the cricket, right? So the cricket players are united, right? They are united. Stronger together is the motto of the Springboks. So I'd like to think the Proteas have something similar going on, and that's why they dominate the world, right? I can argue really that if ever there were white people in Bafana, right, Bafana would be much better than what it is. By the way, currently it's actually doing very well, right? And I'm not even a soccer guy, I'm a cricket and rugby guy, but the soccer is doing quite well. And my wish is, before I pass away at the age of 95, to have seen South Africa lift up the FIFA World Cup. And I know it sounds like it's impossible, I know. But South African soccer players are so gifted, it's insane how good South African soccer players are. The only issue is just the mindset part. Guys are scared to strike when they get to the box, scared of responsibility. Maybe they're not motivated to be responsible, right? They're scared to strike. I've noticed that's always been the problem up front. But in the midfield, in the back, we're able to do everything that the best in the world can do. So if we can just get over that hurdle. But anyway, that's just a side note. Let's talk about the Proteas that just won. Themba Bavuma, even I was a critic of Themba Bavuma, right? But my critique was just based on his playing ability. I wasn't convinced. I was not convinced. I got convinced 3-4 years back, right? That the guy is actually quite good, right? With the captaincy, his record speaks for itself. Apparently, he's never lost a test as captain, so that alone is just amazing, right? But if you look at the criticism the guy went through, right? His height, Black African captain, playing ability, being called a quota, all of these things. Then the guy still stands tall and is like, this is for you, South Africans. Even you, South African, who criticized me. I can't help but find inspiration and motivation from that type of thing, man. I can't have hate in my heart when there are people who operate like that in our country. People who look like me who operate like that. They're like, nope, no time for hate. Siya Kolisis of the world, the Bongi Monambis of the world, they're like, nope, time for hate. Then it's like, Why hate? I have no time for that. Some of the most important things in my life I've learned from white people. How can I then hate them? To me, it doesn't make sense. You know? So let's just work harder, guys. Congratulations to the Proteas for winning this thing. 27 years since we won something important in cricket, since 1998, if I'm not mistaken. Congratulations to them. So we were, by the way, we were in the T20 final as well. So we missed that, right? So the next thing is obviously the ODI World Cup. We have to take that. Then it's going to be sealed. Then the hoodoo will be off our back forever, and we can even start winning it back to back, in my opinion. Because we've always had the players, we always have the talent, and we have the work rate, work ethic to be among the best in the world. Obviously, we need to play more cricket, and we're denied that at the moment, but hopefully that will fix that. Somehow that's going to get fixed. All right. So, Aiden Markram, legend. By the way, I used to criticize him as well, for obvious reasons. Aiden Markram, as a starting batsman, hasn't been the best. We all know that. But geez, the guy has shown up at important times. So I have to give him that, at least. He has shown up at important times, just like how we did over this weekend. So you can't fight that. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to his man of the match win. And yeah, continue uniting us, guys. And some of us will fight it here on the ground as well to get the unity thing going even more. In South Africa. South Africa is an amazing place. I really, really believe in South Africa. The reason I believe in South Africa is this. What makes the United States the best country in the world is its diversity, right? South Africa is just as diverse. It has so much diversity, and there's power in diversity when harnessed. That's what I love about it. So when I grew up in an Indian neighborhood. Imagine that. Grew up in an Indian neighborhood, so I've had the experience of hanging with older Hindu men, older Muslim men. I understand their perspective. I see how they think. I see their value to this whole thing called South Africa. The Indian neighborhood I grew up next to in Newcastle, KZN, close to the colored neighborhood. So going to the colored neighborhood, right, and very close to another colored family, close to where I stayed, actually in our street. So I've had that perspective and that exposure as well. As I said, I went to a white school. So that exposure as well. I'm black, so obviously exposed to black people. So I see our unique values, right? Different values or different pieces that we bring in this whole thing. And if we just gave each other a chance, the small pie that we're fighting over, that's the other thing the politicians want, guys. They want us to continue fighting over the small pie that South Africa is at the moment, and they want us to ignore the bigger pie that we'd tap into if we worked together. Nothing scares a politician more, a global politician, not just a South African politician. Nothing scares them more than unity. Nothing. Because when we're united, suddenly things just come to the country. Suddenly things are just happening. Suddenly the country's growing faster than it's ever grown. There's proof of this. From 94 up until the end of Thabo Mbeki's presidency, we were united, right? Very united. The country grew economically aggressively. It's only when the demagogue politics started again, right? Started again aggressively. That's when the country's growth slows down. Because you're not taking advantage of the unity anymore. You see? So, yeah, guys, no, that's just the video for now. Listen, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. And please share to your friends or family, and to anyone you feel needs to hear this. When it comes to comments, guys, please comment and give me what you think and what needs to be improved or anything like that. I'll do my best to improve. And yeah, I just love your comment, even if it's a critique. Comment, positive, negative, it's okay with me, guys. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Cheers.